Hi everyone and happy Monday. We have another Christmas page today, of course, seeing as it's December, and we have this bauble with this sort of foliage surround, I suppose. I have got my Staedtler Design Journey pencils because it's very intricate. We need something that we can do with a pencil that that can sharpen to a fine point. So that's why I've grabbed those. I'm just going to dig in and get started. So I've chosen number 57, and I'm going to do some mistletoe. I'm going to come in nice and closely so you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully remember to move my book as I go. Now it's very, very dark here, so I hope that it's going to be okay, but we'll just go with it. Now I'm going to do the mistletoe with this, so I'm going to start the top quite dark and then do less towards the tip, like that, and just do it the same way for all of it. Yeah, it's snowing at the moment, so it's dark. I'm getting a bit ahead with videos actually, because I need to know what I've got to slot in where, sort of thing. Okay, so our next batch of mistletoe, oh, it's here. So I'm just thought I would get some done and get me in the Christmas mood. Snow is definitely helping make me feel Christmassy. I want to go out, it's lovely, but I'm waiting in for a parcel, which is quite important. It's got electronics in, so it can't be left outside. It's coming with the postman, so I know he'll knock on the door, you know, the Royal Mail. Some other parcel delivery companies don't, but I don't know what time it's going to come because they can be so late. Sometimes our post tends to be after lunch, sometimes it's 4 o'clock. I really wanted to go out in the snow. I need to go to get some groceries really, that I wanted to get before this evening, but I can manage with what I've got. But I wanted to get some mushrooms to go with my meal tonight, but if it gets too late I won't be able to go out because I have to be cooking tea. So we'll just see what happens. Now I've decided that I'm going to do the berries around this edge with a glitter pen because it's Christmas time. It's nice to have a bit of shine and sparkle, and because mistletoe berries are creamy white, they don't show up very well. Now I did do a page with mistletoe berries and showed you how to you could do it with greys and sort of yellowy creams, so I have shown you. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil how to do it that way if you would rather. I'm just going to do it differently because I'm actually doing the leaves, I think, in the same way as I did on the other video, that, which was I haven't got it here anymore, which was the Christmas sort of mandala freebie that Johanna had done. So it's very similar. So it's I just want to try and think of a bit of a different way, but I always like doing mistletoe like this, so you're stuck with it, I'm afraid. But we do the holly and things a bit differently. I'm going to do this bit of stick here, and I'm also going to do the bit of stick on this one. I think it's symmetrical. I'm just looking. It is. So I'm just checking. I've done the same bits of stick there and there, but here I'm going to do these bits a little bit. I might go over them in a darker colour later if I decide I want to, but we'll just get, so that is all of that bit. Now I'm not going to do the centre, I'm just doing the outside now, so although we've got mistletoe there, we're not going to do that. We might put a few more colours in it because it's a larger area. Next, I'm just thinking, we've got ivy, we've got holly, we need to do different colours. I'm just yawning, sorry, making everyone yawn. I'm going to use the green earth for the ivy, be a little bit different, which is number 55. Whoops, I think I'm right. Yeah, 55. It's quite dark, it's quite nice. I think this is ivy. And I'm just going to colour the top quite dark, so quite a few layers here. and then less as I go down towards the tip. I wasn't thinking I was going to make a video now. I was hungry because it's sort of 11:30. And I was just thinking, oh, I'm going to go and get some lunch. So I'll ring my mum, have a little chat with her to delay lunch because I've got a late tea tonight. So I didn't want to eat lunch early, or else I'd be snacking in the middle of the afternoon. I think I'm going to do these little leaves in the same way. So, but she wasn't there. I know she had a hospital appointment this morning. She said it was quite early, about 9:30, which is early for her, not for me. But I guess she went into town or something after. So I don't know. They just weren't there. But they like to go into town, have lunch. Now we'll move around from this side. So we've got this ivy here. I'm also going to be doing the stem. Yes, they may have gone off into town, wandered about, done a bit of Christmas shopping, got some lunch, that sort of thing. Or sometimes, now I'm looking, this is really, starts here, I think. I'm going to work from the bottom upwards. Sometimes she goes and sees her neighbour, but my dad isn't usually out on a Tuesday. I know I said happy Monday. It's because I knew the video was going out on Monday. It's Tuesday. Never mind. I'm sort of debating with myself at the minute. Do I take a bit of time off over Christmas? I mean, I will a bit, but do I take a significant amount of time off or not? I'm never sure. I enjoy making videos. It's a nice bit of me time. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes I think I'm a bit fresher if I've had a bit of a break. But of course, if I take a break, it means I have to either do some extra work beforehand or reduce the amount of videos I put out. So I guess I'm just going to see how it goes, really. I know what days, and actually I've got a few busy days coming up even this month. It's November. Because what have we got going on? I've got a walk with a friend on Friday. It won't take that won't take that long. I'm seeing father-in-law on Sunday. I'm meeting a different friend on Monday. It's her birthday. The following Friday my son's got a hospital appointment, and I expect I'll have to go. Husband will be home, but I expect he'll want me to go, and I don't know if he'll be up for driving or whether me and son will have to get the train. To wait and see. Oh, bit down here then. So I've got stuff going on, and then I've got to get together at the beginning of December for my niece's birthday. My boys have got so much work due in. My son's got an essay. One of my sons got an essay due in next week. He hasn't started it yet. It's only 750 words, but he says he thinks it's going to need an extension because today they were being taught how to do it in class. So it's not his fault that he's got behind. He's handed his other one in that was due on Monday. He handed it in about half a week early. But I don't know. He's got the day off tomorrow, so I'm going to sit down with him and see whether he needs me to help him. I was helping my other son this morning with he's written enough words, but he needs to put all his references in and find them all. And he was just really struggling, and I don't really know why. But he managed to find about 2. I thought he could have got them done on Sunday, really, but he managed not to do any work at all. It's a bit of a worry. I think, gosh, if it was me, I'd have had all my essays half written by now, and I have to try to not get stressed about it. I can feel my stress levels sort of rising by the day. Now my stress has been so much better since I've been on HRT, and so that's really good, but I'm starting to feel worried again about it, all the deadlines coming up. I mean, my one son's got 2 essays due, 2,500 words, one on the 16th of December, one on the 20th. I mean, it's only what's the date? the 19th of November. But one of them, he's got to do these references and he's being so slow. And the other one, I'm just trying to copy what I did on the other one because it's a symmetrical design. Yeah, one of them he's written the words and he just needs the references, and it needs rewriting because it's not worded very well, but I can help him with that. But the other one, he hasn't even really started it yet. It's like, oh. And then he's got 2 others due of the same length in January. Oh, there's my telephone. Oh, it was just the husband on the phone telling me he got to work safely, because apparently he promised me he would and then remembered he hadn't. But I hadn't heard him tell me he was going to do that. I'm of the thinking that just assume that if they don't say anything, they're fine type thing. Whereas he is a worrier, so he thinks I'm going to be worrying about him driving in the snow unless he calls me, sort of thing. But I had other things on my mind, like helping my son with his essay. So yeah, unfortunately I try not to let, I know it's a sign that you care for someone if you worry about them, but you have to limit your worries in some ways. I've been reading this book about anxiety and worries, and it says your worries are just your mind's way of trying to almost sort of distract yourself a little bit in some ways from like your fear. I don't know, I'm not explaining it very well, and what I'm saying sounds like nonsense, but anyway, it basically says what happens is if you're in a state of stress and alarm and you wonder why, and it might not be that there's something imminently terrible happening, but your brain goes, why am I worried, and then starts putting scenarios in your head. Now the holly I'm going to do in number 5, and because it's quite small I'm going to colour it slightly differently to how I sometimes do it. So rather than going around the edge and trying to make a shiny bit in each side, I'm just going to fade it towards the base. As I say, in the mandala video that I did, it probably was last week, it might have been on the 1st of December, I did the holly in a different way. So I'm just trying to make it different for you anyway. Yeah, so often our worries are fears about the future or ruminating over the past. They're not usually in the present. If we're in a scary situation in the present, have you noticed that we don't tend to be worrying? We're just in it and doing. So worries are, this is what it was saying, and I was like, that does make some sense. So if I'm in a scary situation, I'm just highly alert and dealing with it, I think it is quite interesting though, because like my husband isn't like this. Like, let's give you an example. One of my kids throws up all over the kitchen floor, let's say, as a toddler. It happens all the time, doesn't it? Well, not all the time. So what do? Well, I immediately deal with it. So I pick up the child, strip off all their skanky clothes, throw them straight in the washing machine, then get the mop and start clearing up the mess. What does husband do? He stands there, he calls me, he goes, this has happened. I'm like, yeah, and just thinks it's revolting and stands there looking at it, not knowing what to do. Had another situation where he did that once. It wasn't an emergency situation, but he was carrying a box, and the bottom fell out of the box and all the stuff fell over the floor, and he just stood there and looked at it, and I had to pick it all up. He just didn't know what to do. And apparently when your mind goes into a huge sort of stress, emotional problem, like, you know, if you're in a situation and you panic, I think is probably the best word to use, you can't think straight. And I think that's what happens to him. He just goes into a panic and he can't think what's going on, you know. So it's, whereas I don't do that, I don't get emotional until after, you know. So we've had situations in the family where the kids have had to go to a hospital, emergency treatment for whatever it might have been, different things. You know, there's always a knock on the head, or one had the appendix out, things like that. And at the time it's happening, I'm usually quite logical and thinking straight, and then it's once it's sort of over and, you know, they're recovering, or we've got back from the hospital, or whatever it might be, that's when I cry. That's when all the emotion comes out. And you know, once I know it's resolved, it's really quite strange. I don't know if that is normal, or whether most people panic, or I don't know whether it's because he's a man, or because of his ADHD, or because we're just wired differently. I just don't know, you know. I know my children deal with things differently. Like if a cup is broken on the floor, someone drops a cup, break it, or, you know, drop something in the kitchen, again, my husband will just look at it. He won't just immediately deal with it. He'll just stand and look at it and stare at it. Whereas my boys would either ignore it and carry on with what they're doing and then deal with it after, or immediately deal with it, depending on whether it's in the way, you know. It's I do find it quite interesting, but they have been taught by me, because being their primary caregiver, as they call it, you know, because husband's been at work most of the time while they were little, so I was the one that was there all the time, teaching them how to deal with all these sorts of things. They deal with it more like me, so that is interesting. Still snowing, by the way. It's a much finer, more sleety looking snow now. I've been wanting to go out, but parcel still hasn't come, so we'll just have to stay in. If it comes too late, I won't get to go out in it, but you know, that's just the way it is, really. Right, we are on to this bit. I'm sort of just idly colouring, really, not taking a great deal of notice of what I'm doing, which is quite fun. I find that rather relaxing, and I can sort of think about other things. I think if you're using colouring as a way to switch off from your worries, then it's a really good idea to do something quite intricate and difficult, because then you have to really concentrate on the colouring. As I find, if I'm doing anything too easy, my mind wanders and I'm thinking. And sometimes it's good if you're ruminating a little problem that you want to resolve that isn't stressful, but just needs sorting. You know, what should I buy so and so for Christmas, or whatever it might be. Then that's fine. But if you are starting to get yourself concerned with things, then you need to think about whether you should be doing something else. I mean, playing a video while you colour might be distracting enough, or music, something like that, or, you know, TV, I don't know. I don't tend to colour while I watch TV, because I don't watch a lot of TV, so the shows that I do watch I choose carefully, so I want to be fully engaged, although I probably end up watching Dancing on Ice after Christmas. It usually starts on just after Christmas, Boxing Day, I think. No, I don't know. Anyway, I'll probably end up watching that. We can do this ribbon, and that will there's a lot of talking and faffing about in that program, so I will tend to probably colour then. This is 299, which is the dark carmine. I want it in red. Okay, so I have actually got a tutorial on how to colour this ribbon from Johanna's Christmas in red, but I'm going to layer it up here and just fade it a bit here, and then do the same from this end. Yeah, Dancing on Ice is a bit like Dancing with the Stars, but it's on ice. I don't know if other countries have it. So basically you have a professional ice skater and a celebrity, and the pro teaches the celebrity various routines to do each week, a routine each week to perform. So they have a bit of VT in between each performance on how they got on in training and things like that. Now, in my favourite Strictly Come Dancing or / Dancing with the Stars, I like watching the VT. I like watching every minute of it. But with that one, I don't get quite so invested in it and in the people and that sort of thing. So while that VT is showing, I'm tend to be colouring. Also, it's on ITV now. ITV has commercial breaks, so it's a great time to do some colouring, whereas Strictly Come Dancing that I like is on the BBC, so we don't get commercials on the BBC, no adverts, so there's no break, which is always annoying when it's a long show, because you have to run out and make a cup of tea or go to the loo and miss a bit. I mean, you can pause live TV these days, it is possible with most TVs and things like that, but I tend not to, because you've got to vote. We tend to always vote. You can vote for free on the website, and that's what we do. I'm fading this one towards this sort of end, not too much, because we still want a fairly intense colour. Nice bright red, Christmas red. Go. Now what you could do, see this bit of the ribbon looks like you could go around the edge. It looks like it's like round like a shoelace, but this bit and this bit doesn't, so I think I'd just grab a slightly darker colour and just do a little bit of sort of shadowing if the paper will take it. So this is 27, which is our red brown, and I'm just going to put a little bit in a few places around here. We'll be done with that one. Okay, now my plan isn't to do all this in one video, but I think if we do this top piece, then we can do this more complicated bit. We've got 3 poinsettias and more mistletoe and holly and stuff to do in the bottom. I've got a bit of an idea. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Oh well, I'll have a think about it in the meantime. Now, is this going to be silver or gold is my thought. I think gold always looks better for Christmassy things, in my personal opinion, but obviously thoughts differ. Gold is a bit more complicated. I'm just trying to think about the colours I'm going to be using down here and whether what will work. I think I'm going to do it silver. So we're starting with our darkest grey, which is 890. And we're going to put in the areas that are dark. This bit's marked already, so that makes it easy. I'm going to put a bit there, fade around a little bit here and a little bit here. Now this bit I always get a bit confused by. What I think I'm going to do this time is make it look like this is dipped in a bit, hopefully. So I'm trying to make it a little bit darker along the edge and in the middle, but doing it all in this darker colour. And then just work all the way around. Well, across, not around, I guess. Now unfortunately I don't really know how long this video's been because I stopped it, so I don't know whether it'll be of an even length to the next video, but never mind. It sure doesn't matter that much. I do try to make a series with videos all similar lengths. It's not always easy. Right, we now have number 80, which is our light grey, and we can expand this a little bit. And this, I'm going to go over what I've done. Just extend the areas of grey a little bit. The same here. And this side. And we do have one slightly lighter grey that we can use as well, which is the 800. Now, this is our last one, so we need to leave a little bit of white to make it look like we've got a bit of shine to our silvery piece. Still snowing outside. It feels very early to have snow, but I guess we do normally have snow in November and sort of April, not in, I'm just going to sharpen the number 890, so I want to do a little bit more with this before I finish. So I want to really emphasise that bit there and there. I'm going to go back in on the far edge of each of these. Like that, and then on the other side of the ones on this side. Just to try and emphasise that sort of shadow. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to do the glitter, or am I? No, I'm not, because I'll be running my hands around here, and if there's glitter there, it'll get all over the place even if it's dry. So I think I'm just going to leave that there for now as it is, and we'll put the glitter pen on at the very end. I think that's a much better idea. So let's just brush it off and have a proper look. I think it's just about working, so that's good. I might fiddle with it a bit more once we've done the rest of the bauble. We'll see how well it sort of sits. But that is me for today. So thank you for watching, and come back tomorrow for the poinsettias, the mistletoe and the holly in the middle. But for now, thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, like and follow, and happy colouring.